Surprised at who you find are your guardian angels. One time I had a girl whose mother had died when she was 2 years old, and she was raised by a stepmother. She disliked her stepmother. She was pretty harsh with her. But she had a guardian angel line right here at age 19. And she says, "Oh my gosh," she says, "my stepmother died when I was 19 years old." I says, "I'm sorry, but she's a major guardian angel to you." Maybe it upset her, maybe it gave her a little bit of comfort, I don't know. But it certainly showed in her hand as a guardian angel with the stepmother right here. It was a very distinct line. Now, there's one more line. The fate line goes up to the middle finger, and in the left hand, this is the one that's going to tell you how long you're going to live, but we'll read that in the right hand. The left hand is your past, your inherited characteristics. Lines don't change too much in the left hand. This fate line in the left hand, every time that breaks and moves over, it's a change in your relationships. Marriages, divorces. This one comes along here at about 38 or so. Here's a change in a relationship. Coming along here, here's another change in a relationship at about 46 or 47. And then it goes pretty steady all the way up to that finger. So there's two changes, maybe marriages or divorces. You can go along and almost track your marriages and divorces on this. By the way, that is a relationship line. That's a special relationship. It doesn't necessarily mean just marriage. Okay, we're going to move over to the right hand now. The lines will change a little bit in this hand. In your left hand, that's your past hand, the lines won't change so much. Again, here's your three major lines. Your lifeline going around your thumb, your head and spine line going across your hand, and the heart line going around the base of the fingers. But here's the fourth line that I've marked in. This is your fate line, coming from the wrist area, coming on up to only the middle finger. If it goes to one of the different fingers, it's not your fate line. That's the one that's going to tell you how long you're going to live. So if we count every half an inch, 7 years, when you get to this ring around the middle of the finger, you're up into your 80s. A lot of people are going clear up into here, into their 90s, especially the women. The women will outlive the men by about 6 to 8 years. On this lifeline, wherever you've got the little islands, remember I told you that was injuries to the body? But on this lifeline on the right hand, when you have lines coming right straight up like this, those are achievement lines. And you can go along on your timeline and you can see where the achievements are. Here's age 20 where I've got a little 2 marked. See these little lines right through here? Those are some major achievements. Now that's possibly that could be this man's children in his early 20s. Each time you see a little line that comes up, if those children are going to be achievers, the line will show in the hand. Here's another line here at about age 26, and then lines through here at age 29. This is 29, here's 30. And going all along the lifeline, when you get around to the edge of the hand here, then they'll come up the other way this way. You can go clear back here into your 70s and see what the achievement lines are. Okay, open the hand up again here. The fate line on the right hand, anytime that breaks and moves over and changes, it's a change in your job or your career. So you can go along and mark the places that you're going to have a change in your career, or sometimes if you have a major change in your lifestyle, there'll be a change in your lifestyle. See the little purple marks here? I always use purple for angels or anything. Whenever the line comes on the inside of the lifeline, which is this line right here, I'm going to mark that a little better. There's your lifeline. See the lines parallel on the inside? They're visits from guardian angels. Sometimes if you've had to have protection, or if you've had a visit after someone has died and they've come to see you, it'll show in your hand. So here's 20, here's 19, here's 18, here's 17, a little mark in the hand here at 17, and We already know that he had a guardian angel at 17, so he might have had a visit from that guardian angel, whoever that was that died. And then here's another mark right here at age 15. A little visit from a guardian angel at 15, and that probably could be of a little protection. That might have been when he had a car wreck. So, breaks in that line, out-of-body experiences, or the times if you've been like had an operation, you've been under anesthesia or something, it'll break that lifeline. Here's your head and your spine line. The straighter across your hand that goes, the smarter you are. Now you see a little fork here at the end. His goes right straight across his hand, but he's got a little dippy-do down here. And when that turns down there and gets into this little fat pad area, this is called the Luna area. Sometimes that is depression. And that line will run into that area, and it's generally kind of an interruption in your sleep cycles. See the islands up here in the spine line? The head and spine line is going to tell you what shape your spine is in. This first inch is your upper spine, the next inch is your middle spine, and the last inch is your lower spine. When you got the islands up here, there's some problems in the neck area. Probably some misalignment in the neck. And if you turn the hand just a little bit, that spine goes clear up here. It starts right there, right straight down from the middle of this finger. So if you've got little islands right there, that means you're out of place up in the very top part of the spine where the skull is. That two of those vertebrae sit underneath the skull. You'll see little islands in there on ADD, ADHD kids. You'll see a little chain of islands, which means that their little necks are out of place. And that's why they're kind of irritable, and they have to move all the time, and they don't sit still, they don't focus, because their spine is out of place in that upper part of the spine, especially up under the skull area. So you can clearly see an ADD child by looking in their hand and looking for the little chain in the lines right here. If you got the islands in there, you better beware. It might mean some heart problems. So here's how you count that. Right straight down from in between these two fingers about age 20. I take the end of my pen. That's 20, that's 30, that's 40, that's 50, that's 60, that's 70, that's 80 off to the side here. At the end of the heart line, when you see these little feather items through here, see how that feather's right there? That is flirt lines. And very often people will have those, which means they interact well with people. It doesn't necessarily mean that they flirt with people, but they interact well with people when you get those little feathered lines. We're down to the marriage and the children lines. Now everybody wants to know what this is. When you look at the end of the heart line here, you have to discount these little feathered lines I drew in there. Get down here, the end of the heart line, the ring around the little finger. This is your marriage area through here. The end of the heart line is the early part of your life, and the ring around the little finger is the later part of your life. Any lines that go horizontal across here are your marriage or your real strong relationship lines. Sometimes you'll just get affection lines that show in there. Each line starting here, the early part of your life, 1, 2, 3, marriage or strong affection lines. Even if you live with somebody for a while, it will show in your hand. If you have a real strong, intimate relationship with them, it'll show in your hand. So 3 marriages, couple of short ones in the early part of his life. Here's a really good one right here in the later part of his life. And see how long that line is? These two were little shorty pie marriages. Here's a great big long one, probably in his 50s. Now it's important that you look at the end of that line, especially the last line. If it tips down on the end, the spouse dies first. If it tips up on the end,